So, you're thinking about starting a food cart here in sunny Florida, right? It's an awesome dream to have. But yeah, the process can look a little complicated. Don't worry though, it really doesn't have to be. In this explainer, we're going to break down the exact 10-step blueprint you need to turn that food dream of yours into a delicious reality. It always starts with that amazing idea, doesn't it? Just picturing it, you being your own boss, whipping up some incredible food for happy customers from your very own cart. I mean, this is what it's all about. This blueprint here shows all the key pieces we're talking about, from the water tanks to the cooking gear. This is the mobile business we're about to build step by step. Okay, so here's the reality check. Before you can serve even one single customer, you've got to navigate what can feel like a pretty complex maze of regulations here in Florida. We're talking about agencies at the state level, the county or city level, and yep, even the federal level. You'll be dealing with everyone from the DBPR, the fire department, and even the IRS. I know, it sounds like a lot, but trust me, we're going to make it simple. And this right here, this is how we're going to tackle it. Think of this 10-step blueprint as your personal roadmap to success. We're going to walk through it in 4 main phases. First, building your business foundation. Then, getting your operations set up. After that, we'll handle all the local compliance stuff. And finally, the launch. You ready? Let's dive in. All right, first up is phase 1, build your business foundation. This is all about getting the legal and tax stuff squared away. It's the groundwork for everything else, so let's jump right into the first 2 steps. Okay, so your first move, step 1, is registering your business with the Florida Department of State. You've got options here. You can form an LLC to create a separate legal entity, or just register a doing business as name, a DBA. Next step, getting your tax numbers. You're going to need an EIN, which is your employer identification number from the IRS. That's free and instant. You'll also need a Florida sales tax number, which is also free, but just a heads up, it can take a little bit longer to come through. All right, with your business officially on the books, we're ready to move on to phase 2, your operation setup. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty, the core requirements for actually handling and serving food, safely and of course, legally. So let's talk about step 3. And listen, this one is a biggie. It is absolutely non-negotiable in Florida. You must secure a licensed commercial kitchen, which is called a commissary. Think of it as your home base for all your prep, cleaning, and storage. You'll need a signed agreement with a facility, and for budgeting, expect to pay somewhere between $300 and $1,000 a month. And here's the key rule you cannot forget. Your cart has to return to that commissary every single day you're in operation. No exceptions. Okay, what's next? Certifications. For step 4, at least one person on your team has to have an approved food manager certificate. It's a must. Once you've got that certificate in hand, you're ready for the big one. Step 5. This is applying for your state MFDV license. That stands for Mobile Food Dispensing Vehicle. The fee is $347, and you'll submit your application, your menu, that commissary agreement, and your food manager certificate all to the DBPR. We're making great progress. We are now on to phase 3, your local compliance. So while your state license application is being processed, it's the perfect time to start getting all the local permits you'll need to operate in your specific city or county. Okay, so let's break down exactly what these local permits are. Step 6 is your local business tax receipt. You'll get this from your county tax collector, and it's basically your license to be in business in that area. Next up, step 7 is the zoning and vending permit. This is super important because it tells you where you're actually allowed to set up your cart. And finally, we have step 8. The fire department inspection. If you're using propane or grills, you'll need the all clear from the local fire marshal. Just know that the costs and timelines for these can really vary depending on where you are. And here we are, phase 4, the final launch. Can you feel it? You are in the home stretch now. This is the last phase, and it's all about getting your business insurance locked in and passing that final hands-on state inspection of your cart. Once you get through these last 2 steps, you are officially ready to open for business. So let's put the final 2 pieces of this puzzle into place. Step 9 is getting your insurance. You're going to need general liability insurance, and most cities and events will require this anyway. Then comes the final step, step 10, the big DBPR inspection. After all your paperwork is approved, a state inspector will come out and physically look over your entire cart. Once you pass, your license is usually issued that very same week. How exciting is that? So you're probably wondering, what's the bottom line? What does all this actually cost? Let's talk numbers. When you add up all these essential administrative and licensing fees we've just gone through, you should probably budget somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,000 to $7,000 for your first year. And, this is really important to remember, that number does not include the cost of buying or building your actual food cart. So where exactly is all that money going? Well, your biggest recurring expenses are going to be that commissary lease and your annual insurance premium. The rest is mostly made up of one-time fees for your state license, those local permits, and your initial business registration. Seeing it laid out like this should give you a much clearer picture of how to plan your budget. Okay, getting your license is a huge win, but staying compliant day-to-day is the next chapter. So here are some key rules to remember. First, that DBPR license, it has to be physically on your cart whenever you're operating, always. Second, all your supplies, even your ice, must come from approved commercial sources. Here's a super specific one. Your wastewater tank has to be at least 1.5 times the size of your freshwater tank. They will check this. Also, you can't just set up shop anywhere. You'll need permission to be on private property. And if you do festivals, you'll likely need an additional temporary event license. And to make all of this even easier for you, here is your official resource hub. Seriously, you're going to want to bookmark these websites. You've got SunBiz for your business registration, the IRS site for that free EIN, My Florida license for your main state license. It's all right here. These are the direct links you'll need to get your application started and to find the most up-to-date info. So there you have it. That's the complete 10-step blueprint for launching your food cart right here in Florida. The path is laid out for you all the way from the first piece of legal paperwork to that final inspection. So really, there's only one question left to ask. Now that you have the blueprint, what's the very first thing you're going to put on your menu?